Good morning, YouTube. It's Atticus. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. Back with you, and today we have some High Elves. We have the Asur, and this is a cool game versus Greenskins. Whenever you fight the Greenskins, it's usually a really cool video. It usually is a very cinematic battle, and yeah, very close to the wire. So, for today's build, guys, we're trying the dreaded 3 Eagle build. So what you do here is you take the Prince. The one big, huge, glaring weakness of the High Elves, obviously, is they're so expensive. Like, you cannot field that many units, especially if you start bringing dragons or Tyrion and, units such as that. Which means that you need to cut corners when possible. So a Prince is still pretty powerful. You put him up on that Eagle against the Greenskins, he's going to excel at harassing things like what you see right here. Missile backlines and low-tier cavalry of the Greenskins. It allows you to field a lot bigger army, guys. Also, running up with the Prince, we have 2 nobles. Now, once they get up on the Eagles, they're not going to have their anti-large attacks anymore, but they still do have 420 weapon strength, 60 armor, and you could take their Deadly Onslaught and Foe Seeker as well to kind of give them some buffs. Over here, guys, for my missile contingent, here you can see that I do have 1 unit of the Herald of the Winds. These are the Regiment of Renown archers, which are almost always a must in this matchup, just to try to screen away, Spider Riders, Wolf Riders, and things of the sort. And then, guys, we have a Spearmans, 4 of them, and then we have 1 unit of Swordmasters of Hoaf. I feel like you only need one kind of dedicated armor-piercing unit in this matchup, either it be a White Lion or a Swordmaster, because otherwise, a unit of Black Orcs will just single-handedly take out 3 of your spearmen. Also, guys, you can see we do have the Fireborn. We're going to need this for the spiders. And we have the Storm Riders. So I think this is a matchup the Storm Riders are very good in. I do wish these guys would have gotten shields. They'd be so much better if they had a missile resist chance, a shield chance. But, they can still fire while moving. They are anti-large and they can protect themselves. So that is my Greenskin fighting army. You have a very long, wide army here of infantry that can hold the Greenskins in place, keep them from surrounding you, and you have a whole lot of things that can harass the back line and most of the low armor tier cavalry of the Greenskins. These Eagles are going to be very mobile. They do cause fear, and they have really good weapon strength. Then over here, guys, you can see obviously we have just a normal unit of Dragon Princes. So with the Fireborn on each side, and then a Fire Prince, and then obviously the archers. So for my opponent, we have somebody you don't really see a lot, guys. Grimgor Ironhide. So this guy's going to be a terror to deal with, especially since I don't have an an armor-piercing lord. I'm going to have to really try to save him to last. Kind of exploit how slow he is. Just kind of dance around him. Attack a unit where he is not, because all it's going to take is a couple good swings from him, and then, my lord would be in pretty bad shape. Let's go ahead and stop here for a second. My opponent has a front line of Orc boys, it looks like. So, just a bunch of Orc boys with silver chevrons. Secondary line of Orc biggins with some bronze chevrons. Then we have 2 Night Goblin archers, one of them being the Rusty Airs. A Goblin right here just to screen out for some units. We have a Night Goblin Shaman. We have some Orc boar boys, but I can't talk. The Arachnid Rocks Queen. So she's gonna have the spider summons, poison damage, very powerful, and then another goblin. So this is gonna be tough. So right off the bat, as the Dragon Prince's charge said to the faces of the goblins, we are gonna Jike and Juve, and we're gonna get a nice good charge into the Rusty Airs. And you can see instantly I'm gonna send the noble, the princess, pretty much everything I have into harassing that back line. So here it comes. Boom, really good charge. Well, kind of a limp charge. Not many bodies go flying since they're moving. But over here, we do the same thing with these goblins. They were not braced for the charge, and we instantly just isolate his whole back line, guys. You can see the nobles are coming in, the prince is coming in, the Fireborn, pretty much all my units are keeping these goblins busy. You can see now that is a good charge by the Fireborn. And we've just destroyed his back line, guys, and we're keeping his army separate. Here you can see that the Storm Riders are shooting into the back of these Orc boys, and the front lines have collided. Grimgor is going to get a Wog off, and it's going to be okay for us, though, guys. He doesn't have any missile support, any monster support, and his units are going to be able to fight my Spearmen pretty effectively, but we still have martial prowess and things like that. You can see my opponent does get a Curse of the Bad Moon, I think that's what it's called, but the Fireborn are going to get into the Arachnid Spider, so this is the natural counter. The Dragon Princes are going to get into the Goblins. And I'm just sending everything I have, guys. I'm using my Nobles, my Prince, just trying to keep his infantry separated from he hits the Arachnid Spider. You can see the Night Goblin Shaman is going to get one of his spells off, Magic Missiles, onto the Noble. But he's such a small target, he's not going to take that much damage. You can see we are going to break one unit of Orc Boys right here, guys. It's going to allow my Spearman units to get into Grimgore. But yeah, Grimgore is going to be a true Night Terror. He's going to start to single-handedly just taking out that whole unit, most likely. You can see these Dragon Princes are going to start getting pulled away. I figured, alright, let's get a charge into these Orc Boys here. Now, ideally, I'd want my Fireborn to do that. But yeah, they're kind of busy dealing with their Arachnid Spider. So we're going to get a head-on charge with the I can't even say that. Orc Hogs, that's just what we'll call those guys. And yeah, these guys, it's going to be a pretty even trade. I will need to probably pull away as soon as possible. You can see that we have absolutely just shredded through his infantry line. They're all breaking, but yeah, the Fireborn are actually taking a lot of damage, guys. You can see they're sitting there fighting amongst the Arachnid Queen. But yeah, these Orc Biggins have just been kind of taking some of the shots, some of the damage. Over here in the infantry fight, though, things are looking really good for us. You can see I'm using my Spearmen to come around the back. We're trying to get the rear penalty, and we're actually doing a lot better than I thought with the infantry lines. You can see that Grimgore is trying to come into the main engagement, though. He's trying to reinforce, because this is really what's going to make or break the battle. You can see I'm going to get another charge in by the Dragon Princes, but my opponent is going to cast an Itchy Nuisance, which is going to lower my melee attack and my weapons damage, which is a really good move. You can see that the Heralds of the Wind are going to get kind of caught by these Spider Hatchlings and Illyrian, and the Arachnid Spider, so I'm going to really need to pull those guys away as soon as possible. But I'm going to use my Storm Riders to start focusing down the Arachnid Queen here in a second. Over here, you can see that the Prince and the Noble is fighting Grimgore, but look at that damage, guys. One, swipe takes him almost down to about half health. Now he's at a quarter health, and we've hardly done anything to Grimgore. So yeah, that just kind of shows you the power of Grimgore. He is not something you want to freaking mess with. That Noble is pretty much toast. So we're just going to pull away, and we're going to exploit how slow he is. I just woke up, guys, so bear with me. You can see we're going to get another good charge into these Orc Boys. I'm using the speed that I have, and just taking advantage of these guys being slow. He doesn't have any cav, anything that can really keep track of me. You can see that I'm going to see the rusty arrows here, so the Prince is going to come and, shut those guys down. Over here, we have some spear units that are chasing off these Orc Boys. And yeah, he pretty much has these two units here that are still alive. They're going to be able to cause me some trouble. Over here, the Storm Riders are fighting amongst the Arachnid Spider. And yeah, I like this, guys. These guys are anti-large. Yeah, the Arachnid Spider is a way more powerful unit. But any damage that we can do to it, chip it down, is going to help us. You see, balance of power, though, is really strongly in my opponent's favor. And my Dragon Princes and my Fireborn are really beat up. So I'm having to keep them mobile. You see that I'm just trying to take advantage of units that are just exposed by themselves, escort them off the map, do as much damage as I can, and stay away from Grimgore pretty much at all costs. You can see we are attacking the Night Goblin Shaman, and yeah, if we can get him off the map, that's going to be a really good pick for us. He is trying to get him regrouped to Grimgore, but yeah, we're just not allowing it. You see we're going to get another good charge. We need him to break. You can see I'm using the Fireborn to try to provide some interference. And yeah, I'm having to waste my Prince to try to escort these rusty arrows off the map. But if I don't, we're going to be in some pretty rough shape. You can see that the Storm Riders are taking a lot of damage, guys. A lot of damage, especially with all these Spider Hatchlings and things like that who are keeping those guys busy, so they're not really getting able to use their anti-large attacks. So you can see we're just pulling away. We're using my mobile strike force. We're going to leave these guys in the dirt, and we're going to come reinforce our infantry corps. So if we could get a nice rear charge into these guys, it's going to free up all these infantry units that could keep Grimgore busy. So here comes the Noble. We're going to be able to land onto these Orc Boys, and yeah, my cavalry should get some really good charges as well. So there goes the Noble, sending some Orcs flying. Here comes the Fireborn and the Dragon Princes. We'll watch the Fireborns charge, and boom, absolutely just destroys those Orcs. That should break their leadership instantly. Same with over here. So now we've just, shut down all his infantry corps. As long as we can keep them from returning, we shall be all right. So, he has a balance of power lead, but he has no mobility. No mobility. You can see we're getting another charge. I'm just trying to hit these goblins so they don't have a chance to brace for a charge. Yeah, same with over here, guys. We're going to get a nice charge into these guys to stand away from Grimgore at all cost. Same with the Arachnid Spider. We're just trying to keep it separated. Trying to keep it dealing with my Storm Riders. And yeah, you can see that we're just kind of providing some air interference with the Heralds of the Wind as well. These guys have pretty good combat stats, so if I need to, they can actually stay in combat for a lot longer than you would think. The Fireborn, the Spirit Units, the Swordsmasters, the Hoeth, everything's going to collide on Grimgore right now. And we're slowly and surely creeping the balance of power back, guys. And you can see the Heralds of the Wind are going to stop to fight the Spider Hatchlings. Now, these guys do have the Wog. It's going to keep them alive a little bit longer. But yeah, we have the Fireborn coming in through the Arachnid Queen, so that's going to be able to do a lot more damage to it. Even though these guys are really tattered, they're not much life, but we still have a noble here. Like I said, unfortunately, he doesn't have anti-large, but we just have so many bodies, it's going to be able to do some damage to him. Over here, Grimgor and the Night Shaman Goblin are fighting, but they're completely surrounded by spear units, sword masters, and things like that. And that damage is going to add up, guys. And you can see that we are going to break off the spider hatchlings, and we're sending everything we have to deal with the Arachnid Spider. I'm going to get off my Stand Your Ground and the Blade of Bel Coronis, which is going to give me a nice, melee attack buff. And yeah, we're actually focusing down the Arachnid Queen pretty effectively, guys. And you can see all my opponent, he's trying to regroup. He really needs to get all these units together so that they can get the buffs of Grimgor, but we're just doing everything in our power to stop that. You can see I'm going to get another charge in with these Dragon Princes, and all these charges are adding up. You see I'm sending the Prince ahead here. We're just trying to slow him down, allow the Fireborn to do their anti-large attacks, and you can see that the Storm Riders are hot on his tails as well. Over here, the Night Goblin Shaman is going to start getting isolated. He's going to get killed. Balance of power is slowly, surely coming back into my favor, guys. I'm going to send everything I have for one final charge onto the Arachnid Queen Spider, and you can see its leadership is wavering. But Grimgor, he's trying to pull ahead. You can see he's fighting to the bitter end. He has Foe Seeker. He has Gitsnick, which is giving him that huge combat stats. But we are going to break the Arachnid Spider, guys. So that is what we needed. That is the turn of events. That is the lucky strike. The High Elves are going to be able to beat this abomination. We're going to send everything we have trying to escort him off the map, and the remaining forces are going to fight Grimgor, which in the lore we could probably take most of these units, even 100 to 1. That's just how powerful Grimgor is. I mean, he kicked Archon in the nuts. You can see that he's getting another Wog, but yeah, at this point, he just doesn't have that many troops. He does have some Orc boys coming back, but we have some spear units that are, keeping those guys separated. You can see the Noble and the Prince are flying together just in case he came back. And you can see this thing is so fast, it's pretty much beating the speed of a Prince and a Noble up on Eagles. And there he goes. The Arachnid Spider's off the map, so now we'll get those guys back into the main fight, but Grimgor is going to have army losses. And that's going to be a win for the High Elves. So very cool game. Very cool game. That was a close game. Let's go to look at the in-screen breakdown, talk about some of the keys for my success. And mobility. That was the number one key for success. We were able to, if we would have stayed in combat with Grimgor and his little goon squad, we'd have died. So we sent our Dragon Princes, and we helped the infantry line. Grimgor comes down there, so we run over and start attacking the Arachnid Spider. That's what you have to do. If your opponent specifically brings either Skarsnik or Grimgor, don't leave them in combat. Just ignore them. You get what I'm saying? Don't lose your lord on a stupid attempt to trying to snipe him. You're not going to win that way if you don't have a good armor-piercing lord or a lord who has a lot of HP and armor. Because Grimgor, a few hits, you saw how quick he killed a noble. So what you want to do is take advantage of your speed, take advantage of your mobility, and it's pretty much lore friendly as well too. That's how the High Elves would fight. They would exploit the savage, slow nature of the Greenskins. You can see that we absolutely got so much value out of the Dragon Princes. 324 kills from just the normal Dragon Princes, 295 from the Fireborn. Yeah, that's amazing. You can see I got 2 chevrons on these Dragon Princes. So that is when you walk away from a game feeling good about yourself. The Storm Riders are a really good pick in this matchup. If you could keep them from getting shot. You saw, it forced the Arachnid Queen Spider to have to isolate. It stayed away from the main of combat, the main engagement, which it really needed to be in, because otherwise it was just going to keep getting shot by the Storm Riders. And once the Spider got into combat, the Storm Riders, they're not going to beat it one-on-one, but their anti-large attacks are going to add up. It is going to chip away. The 3 Eagle build, I think this is really good. You can use it in more than just the Greenskins. I find that is really good against Skaven too. I feel like the Eagle is is good in Greenskins. It's good in Skaven, and I've also had some success using it against Wood Elves. The infantry line did their job perfectly. The Sword Masters, thank God we had 1 unit, because if not, Grimgor, we just wouldn't have been able to do any damage to him. The armor piercing of these guys got him down to at least, right about there, a little bit over half health. And we were able to make up the difference by cycle charging, by, just sheer attrition. I mean, it was just a good fought battle, guys. And obviously, last but not least, the Heralds of the Wind. These guys are really good. I feel like if you do take these guys, make sure it's the only unit you bring. You don't usually need to bring two Illyrian Reavers. Just bring one of these guys, and don't be afraid to send them into combat. I mean, it says decent melee combatant on their card. So, all right, guys. And as for Rivivik, great game, my friend. Very cool build. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the flip side of this build is when you go powerful Death Star, big powerful bulky units, you're not going to have speed. If you only have one unit of cavalry, you're taken advantage of, because the meet the Greenskins head on is just going to be suicide as the High Elves. You need to use your tools. You need to play the race to their advantage. So, all right, guys, it's Atticus. I hope you enjoyed that one. I will see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye bye.